The words hit me like a thunderclap. You're not welcome at Christmas. It's only for parents now. One moment I was in my parents' cozy kitchen, and the next I was staring at the people I had loved my whole life as they quietly erased me from the holiday. No debate, no hesitation, just a clean, decisive cut. I didn't cry, I didn't beg. I smiled instead, small, sharp, and quietly dangerous. Because the moment they closed that door on me, another one opened, and what came next left them completely unprepared. My name is Lydia. For most of my life, I thought I understood where I belonged. At 34, I work as a pediatric nurse practitioner. I'm the person who remembers everyone's birthdays, brings soup to anyone who's sick, and never misses a school play for my niece or nephew. I've built a quiet, steady life in a small house on a peaceful street in the city, just me and my rescue dog, Cooper. Until this year, I believed that showing up, being loving, and dependable were enough to matter in my family. But the signs had always been there. My dad, Harold, clings to old-fashioned ideas of family, where parents are always at the center. My mom, Elaine, a former elementary school teacher, treats holidays like classroom projects. Everything always revolves around the kids. My sister, Melissa, simply follows whatever keeps mom happy. My brother, Brandon, once my closest friend, has become someone who avoids conflict like a full-time job ever since he got married and had 2 kids. And Valerie, my sister-in-law, is the perfect blend of charm and ruthlessness. Flawless hair, perfect nails, an impeccable smile, and a knife hidden behind that sweetness. She cornered me at Thanksgiving with a tone dripping with fake concern, but the deeper cut came when my parents quietly agreed with her, as if excluding me was the most natural choice in the world. Perhaps it hurt so much because Christmas had always been my anchor. The scent of cinnamon and butter as mom baked cookies, sneaking bits of dough with Brandon, Melissa twirling in front of the tree hoping to be noticed. It wasn't perfect, but it felt safe. Felt like ours. After my divorce 3 years ago, which tore my life in half, I had leaned on my family for support. Or at least I thought I had. I devoted myself to Oliver and Lily, my niece and nephew, pouring every ounce of love into them because they adored me unconditionally. Then Valerie said it. Christmas is only for parents now. My parents nodded like I should have known this day would come. It wasn't just a schedule change. It was an eviction notice, a quiet declaration that, in their eyes, I was incomplete. That night I left early blaming a headache. Cooper greeted me at the door, sensing the widening crack inside me. I cried until my throat ached, letting the grief spill out. By morning, something inside me had shifted. They didn't want me at their Christmas? Fine. I would create a holiday they'd never forget. I lay in bed for a moment, pillow still damp, Cooper curled against my legs, guarding what remained of me. For a few seconds I expected the familiar ache to pull me back under, but instead something steadier emerged. Clarity, or perhaps the sharp edge of self-respect finally slicing through the fog. My house was silent. Pale winter light spilled through the blinds, soft and cold. I made coffee, wrapped my hands around the mug, and let the silence wash over me. No accusations. No pity. No Valerie. And then the thought struck, fully formed. I don't have to accept this. I don't have to shrink myself just to make them comfortable. I opened my laptop to distract myself, only to find the search bar already waiting, as if my subconscious had done the work overnight. I typed almost automatically, Christmas getaway, solo holiday travel, Caribbean cruises in December. That's when I saw it. A 12-day holiday cruise leaving Miami on December 20th. The images were breathtaking. A sleek white ship, glowing pools, turquoise water melting into the horizon, private balconies, 5 elegant restaurants, a spa that looked like heaven with soft robes and dim lighting. And in that moment I realized something profound. I didn't need their approval, their invitation, or their acceptance to celebrate life. I could carve out joy on my own terms, build new memories that were mine entirely. For the first time I wasn't running to fit in, I was running toward freedom. And this Christmas I would shine brighter than ever before on my own. I read through every page slowly, my heart thudding in a way it hadn't in ages. By the time I reached the checkout screen, my hands were trembling over the keyboard. It was risky, expensive, wildly unplanned. But for the first time in years it felt like something that belonged to me. I actually whispered yes under my breath as I confirmed the luxury cruise. A small, rebellious victory that felt like reclaiming a piece of myself I hadn't even noticed I'd lost. The next couple of days felt like a quiet rebirth. I booked a real hair appointment. Not the usual sensible trim but warm, soft highlights that made my reflection look alive again. I bought clothes I'd always talked myself out of. Flowing dresses in gentle colors. A deep green evening gown that made me look like I belonged on a movie poster. New sandals. A swimsuit that felt bold enough to scare me but somehow still right. People complimented me at the salon, and the woman at the boutique told me I looked luminous. And strangely, I believed her. Meanwhile, my family pretended everything was untouched. My mom texted a cheerful picture of ornaments the kids made. Brandon asked if I could help wrap gifts, conveniently forgetting he helped kick me out of Christmas like a vote on a reality show. Valerie's group message about matching pajamas chirped across the phone like nothing happened. Not a single sorry. Not one moment of concern. They assumed I'd accepted my exile quietly. They had no idea I was already packing my freedom. When I placed the last piece into my suitcase a week later, a strange calm washed over me. Not forgiveness. Not yet. More like the peace that settles in when you finally stop chasing love that should have been given without asking. Cooper watched me from the doorway, his head tilted. "It's okay," I whispered to him. "This year, Christmas belongs to me." The morning I left for Miami, the sky was a muted gray, like a blank canvas waiting for me. I loaded my suitcase into the rideshare, locked the door behind me, and felt a soft rush of something close to relief. Not joy, but the first full breath after months of holding one. At the port, the cruise ship stood tall and shining above the crowd. People bustled around with hats and bags, buzzing with holiday cheer. I moved slower, savoring every moment. This wasn't just a trip. It was evidence that I didn't need anyone's permission to be alive. When I stepped onto the deck, the ocean stretched endless and deep, and something in my chest loosened. I closed my eyes, breathed in the salt air, and let the low vibration of the ship's horn echo through me as the coastline slipped away behind us. Miami shrank until it was nothing but a smear of lights. That evening I slipped into my emerald gown and walked into the dining room alone. People looked at me with warm, curious smiles. Not pity, not judgment, just simple kindness. I was seated with Caleb, Ruth, and Noah. By dessert, we were laughing like people who'd known each other longer than a single meal. No one asked why I was alone. No one made it strange. They simply welcomed me. After dinner, I wandered onto my private balcony. The ocean shimmered beneath the ship's lights, and the air was gentle, warm, brushing against my shoulders. I snapped a photo of me, the dress, the sea behind me, and posted it with a caption that felt like a small exhale. Choosing myself this Christmas. Then the messages started. Every photo I posted brought in another wave. My phone lit up so fast I thought it might overheat. "Mom, Lydia, this feels like too much." "Brandon, didn't know you were traveling?" "Melissa, are you alright? Why didn't you tell us?" "Valerie, odd way to spend the holidays." I let them sit unanswered. Instead, I posted another picture the next morning, just the ocean and my mug of coffee. And the panic on their end grew. "Mom, people are asking where you are. What should we say?" "Valerie, can you stop posting constant updates?" "Brandon, maybe be a little more discreet." "Dad is confused. Tone it down." The absurdity almost made me laugh. Later, Ava called from Seattle. The first thing she said was, "Lydia, you look incredible." And I bet they're unraveling, aren't they? Should I feel guilty? I asked, even though I knew the truth. "Of course not," she said. "You didn't cause the problem. You're just not covering it up anymore." Her words sank deep. I wasn't being dramatic. I was finally being free. Standing on the deck that night with warm wind brushing against my skin, I realized something startling. My absence wasn't wrecking their Christmas. It was revealing what their Christmas really was. And the shift was just beginning. The first real crack came in St. Thomas. I woke to sunlight spilling across my cabin, making the ocean look like melted glass. I put on a turquoise dress, grabbed my beach bag, and joined the excursion to the island. The sand was white, the breeze warm, the water so clear it looked unreal. I took a photo of my legs stretched toward the shimmering shoreline and posted it with, "Merry Christmas," to me. Within minutes my phone erupted. "Mom, is this really necessary?" "Melissa, why are you doing this?" "Brandon, Mom is stressed. Can you stop?" "Valerie, this is feeling vindictive." "Vindictive? from the woman who disinvited me from my own family. I ignored them. Instead, I let the wind dry the salt from my hair and walked along the shore until the tide erased the prints behind me. That night at dinner, Caleb noticed my phone buzzing nonstop. Family, he guessed. I nodded. He didn't ask for details. He just raised his glass. To choosing peace when chaos keeps calling your name. We clinked glasses and I felt it again. I wasn't as alone as I thought. The next day was St. Martin. A catamaran excursion. Sunlight on my shoulders, salt on my lips. We sailed across turquoise water where sea turtles drifted beneath us. When I slipped into the ocean and floated under the open sky, something inside me loosened. A turtle surfaced beside me, and I let out a laugh so natural it startled me. I filmed a short clip and posted it. Better company than I expected today. The reaction from home hit like a wave. Mom, please call me. This is getting embarrassing. Valerie. So you're broadcasting everything now? Brandon. Dad wants to know what's happening. Melissa, the kids asked where you are. I didn't know what to tell them. Still, I didn't reply. I put my phone face down, met my friends for dinner, and let the night move peacefully around me, like a life I had finally allowed myself to live. Ruth's stories about her late husband had us laughing until tears ran down our cheeks. Noah painted a picture of life in a cramped city kitchen. The chaos and warmth palpable. Caleb talked about the liberation he felt after years spent trying to mend the unfixable. Listening to them, I realized something. They weren't expecting anything from me. They weren't judging or measuring my worth. They were simply present. The following morning, we arrived in the Bahamas. The warm breeze and vibrant colors hit me immediately, like stepping into another world. I decided to try the dolphin encounter, fully expecting it to feel cheesy and staged. But when Luna nudged her nose against my hand and chirped, my chest tightened unexpectedly. There was pure joy, genuine connection. The trainer snapped a picture as Luna pressed her nose to my cheek. I looked genuinely happy. I posted it online with the caption, "She showed me more love in 5 seconds than some people did all year." The response from family was swift. Messages poured in. Mom, stop this. People are talking. Valerie, are you trying to embarrass us? Brandon, what's going on? Lydia, are you okay? I'm worried. Then one hit me hardest. A message from Oliver, sent from Melissa's phone. Aunt Lydia, I miss you. Christmas feels strange without you. I had to sit down. The pier beneath me seemed to tilt as guilt and anger collided in my chest. The kids hadn't done anything wrong. They didn't deserve this. But all I could manage was, I miss you too, buddy. See you soon. That evening, I stood alone on the ship's deck. The wind was warm. The waves glittered under starlight scattered like salt across the sky. For the first time in months, I wasn't thinking about who I had disappointed. I thought about who had let me down. They had excluded me, erased me, treated me like I wasn't enough simply because I didn't have children. Why was I the one carrying all the guilt? The next morning brought a calmer message. Mom, we need to talk when you get home. We went too far. I didn't respond. Not immediately. Letting someone face the weight of their actions isn't cruelty. Sometimes it's the only way they truly understand. New Year's Eve arrived with a celebration beneath strings of white lights on the ship. I wore the gold dress I'd bought for the trip. When I entered the dining hall, Caleb whistled low. You look like you survived something, he said. I did, I replied. And I'm done apologizing for it. Fireworks lit the sky over the ocean at midnight, bursting silently before cracking open the night. I captured a single photo of their reflection on the water and posted it without comment. No explanation, no apology, just truth. When the ship reached Miami on January 1st, I braced myself for distance, for silence. Instead, there they were, my parents, Brandon, Melissa, Valerie, and the children waiting. Their faces were tired, heavy with 2 weeks of confronting themselves. Brandon stepped forward. Lydia, can we talk? I walked past him into the house where it had all begun, the place where they had cut me out. In the living room, the Christmas tree reflected the tension hanging in the air. Harold's voice shook as he spoke. We were wrong. We hurt you. We didn't think. No, I interrupted. You didn't think of me. You thought of a version of family that didn't include who I actually am. Elaine wiped her tears. We're sorry. Truly. We want to make it right. Valerie swallowed, ashamed. I shouldn't have said what I said. I acted like having kids made me better. That was cruel. Melissa reached for my hand. I should have spoken up. I should have defended you. I let their words settle raw and heavy before I spoke. I am not incomplete. I do not need children to matter. And if I remain in this family, you will treat me as if I belong. Silence hung in the air, then slowly they nodded, even Valerie. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't healed completely. But it was honest, and that was enough. With that apology, the house felt lighter. The children curled beside me on the couch, their voices filling the space with life. For the first time in months, I could breathe without anticipating another sting. In the days that followed, my family's efforts were subtle but real. My father called simply to ask about my day. My mother no longer shaped every conversation around grandchildren. Brandon invited me to dinner alone, free from Valerie's shadow. Even Valerie apologized again, quietly, giving me the space I deserved. But the real transformation was within me. The cruise had given me something I hadn't expected. A sense of wholeness I didn't need anyone's approval to claim. I stopped shrinking to fit their vision of family. I kept sharing my moments, my photos, my life, not to provoke but because they were mine. Slowly, my family learned to meet me there without trying to control the view. By mid-January, the holiday glitter had faded, but I realized something profound. True empowerment isn't revenge. It's living in a way that makes you impossible to overlook. I attended Oliver's birthday with a full heart and a smile. Not because everything was perfect, but because I was. My family treated me differently now, thoughtfully, consciously, aware of the cost of excluding me. And that's the heart of the story. You don't need permission to matter. You don't need to earn a place at a table you helped build. Choosing yourself is sometimes the bravest act of all.